The toll-free number in your yellow pages, the Union Plaza Hotel and Casino.
Okay, the Union Plaza Hotel in Las Vegas. And how you doing, everybody? This is Bill Moran, and right here at KABC Talk Radio, it's 2:11. And we have a man who's been played many roles in this exciting world of contemporary music. We've got Mr. Dick Clark. And Dick, we're looking here at a 1961 ad.
Did you have to start off that way now?
Oh, my gosh. This ran in a trade paper. I think it was in Cashbox. And it says, starting September 29, ladies and gentlemen, the Dick Clark Caravan of Stars in person, Paul Anka and Dick Clark, plus a fabulous lineup of recording stars. And then there's another show with Brooke Benton and the
that's
Platters.
the whole show.
Oh, this is all together.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Oh, my goodness, amazing. I wonder where some of those people have gone to.
No, you're right. That was another show. We sent Brooke Benton, the Platters, Del Shannon, D. Clark, U.S. Bonds, the Drifters, Gene McDaniels, and 97 other people out as another unit. We used to do like the red unit and the green unit, or the blue unit, as it were. Those were funny days. 17 acts on the bill in a 3-hour show.
It's amazing. I wonder how many of these people are still working today. Well, of course, I know Del Shannon was just in town over at the Roxy.
Yeah, I did just the other night, as a matter of fact.
And Brooke Benton's doing some shows, and...
I'm doing a show this summer with U.S. Bonds. The Drifters are still on the road. Gene McDaniels is a very successful songwriter these days. I don't know about the Cleftones and the Jarmels. I lost track of them. The Platters, there's the 97th group of Platters out, and they've got a record nowadays. Buck Ram's latest group.
Right.
Brooke Benton's still in the business. Whatever happened to Paul Anka?
Whatever happened to Paul Anka?
He's still working, that son of a gun. Owns half the world.
He sure does. He's amazing, his appeal. He's got a top 10 record right now. Beautiful ballad. The old Kodak spot.
You know what is so great that's going on right now, Bill, and we're building a television show around it, the then and now of music. There is never a then. People in the music business stay there. Neil Sedaka covers that beautifully. I mean, here he is, probably one of the hottest people around. He did our New Year's Eve show, and we got the highest ratings we ever had in the 4 years it's been on.
Right.
Anka was the first to do it. Del Shannon's going to do it again. Gene Pitney's going to work with me this summer.
Town without pity.
Oh, Carole King. I mean, there's a lady with a 20-year history in the popular music business. Barry Manilow, though he's new, he is old. He's been around a while. So
it's kind of interesting, too. I don't know how many people realize he wrote the lyrics to your closing theme.
Oh, we use it now, by the way. The original lyrics were written by the Elgart brothers and Bob Horn, who was the original disc jockey on the show, but Barry and another man collaborated on a whole new set of campy, almost 1940s. Da-da-da-da-da. It sounds like Bette Midler time.
Yeah, right. Where's the bugle? Where's the bugle?
Love it. Love it.
I'm going to give out some phone numbers, and to talk to Dick Clark for the next 2 hours in Los Angeles, we're at 870-7263. In the San Fernando Valley and Simi Valley, 981-7900. In Orange County, we're at 638-5151. In the Long Beach Compton area and San Pedro, 639-2036. In the Glendale, Burbank, Pasadena area and Eagle Rock, 244-0790. In the Eastern Metropolitan area and the exciting San Gabriel Valley, 579-5986, and in South Bay, 644-0790. Next Saturday night, live from Santa Monica Civic Auditorium.
Do we have a timpani or a drum roll? Is there anything we can have just play here in the background?
We got to get into the exciting American Music Awards, and boy, there's some wild categories. Particularly one category that intrigues me is the top male vocalist.
Are you alleged to be a musical expert, Bill? I mean, I say alleged because you could fall flat on your face here.
Right.
1 week or 6 days before the event, I will read you the names of the nominees in that category in a moment or two, and then whom do you think, the general public, not the fellas in the music business?
Right, and there's a difference.
Not you guys. Not any of us who have any finger in the pie or know anything about it. But who do the people who listen to the records and go to the record stores and buy music and listen to the radio, who will they name as the popular male singer of the year? Will it be, in alphabetical order, John Denver, Elton John,
or Neil Sedaka?
Right. Now you tell me, that's tough.
That's a tough one. I think, basically, of course, your program certainly has got to be partially reflective of popular music taste because you're mailing it out to the public.
Yeah.
But I do think, again, how many ballots do you mail out?
We mail out 30 to 40,000. I think it's 30,000 this year. We started at 40,000 last year, and that was a little bit unwieldy. It was too big a sample. The average Nielsen sampling, by the way, is 1,200.
I see. Now, how do you determine the demographics as to where it's going?
You could ask me an embarrassing question here that I can't answer, Bill, but I can give you the broad strokes because I'm not into the research. There's a marketing firm that does this. They go go to males, females, blacks, whites, singles, those living at home, not living at home, marrieds, all income brackets. A very scientific, frankly, to my way of life, very uninteresting. I'm not interested in research that much.
You're interested in creating.
I'm told that it's highly accurate,
right?
And that when it comes back, the interesting thing about it is it runs right along with the sales figures. So if you looked at the sales figures, who sells more records? Now, you should know this. Does John Denver sell more records than Elton John? Does Neil Sedaka? I doubt if it's Neil yet. He may get there.
It's a very interesting situation because I saw some recent figures on John Denver where, like, just in the Christmas season alone, he moved 5 million units of product.
Isn't he now the Beatle of RCA Victor?
He
as the Beatles were of...
He is the #1 American artist, and interestingly enough, in the Grammy Awards, for instance, he got no nomination other than the country nomination, which I think is kind of interesting. But John Denver is clearly the most commercial artist in the United States. Now,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
For that reason, do you think he is going to be the one they name?
I think in terms of the American Music Awards, when you look at the 3 people involved in the category, the one with the most exposure on television is John Denver. He's been involved in major specials. It was estimated that his TV special drew somewhere of 46 million viewing audience. One of the highest-rated specials in the history of ABC television.
That's right.
I would say that John Denver would be the favorite. And I also would say that in another of your categories, female category, where you've got Olivia Newton-John against Helen Reddy and Linda Ronstadt, I believe the incredible television exposure of Olivia Newton-John, plus her glamour appeal, and the fact she reaches every age group, is going to make her a very tough person to beat, although Helen Reddy does, too.
You don't know that I am writing these all down,
I know,
Bill.
and I'm going to be wrong on everything.
Olivia Newton-John is going to be here next week, and I'm going to send her in with the list to check it off with you.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. It's also hard to tell whether, when you look at your category of the top group, whether Tony Orlando and Dawn, because of incredible exposure on TV weekly, has an edge over the Eagles and an edge over Earth, Wind, and Fire. I don't know.
You talk to the representatives of the Eagles right now, and they'll tell you they're the only American group that fall into the category of Led Zeppelin,
right,
the Who, the giant, gross-busting group of all time, and they say that that's the way it'll go. Seriously, before we finish in the next couple of hours, we'll survey, some of the people who are
calling
listening.
it, and there are a lot of people that want to talk. I'll tell you that.
I think you'll find that there's no way you're going to get a unanimity of experience, of an expression of what everybody thinks here.
Okay, let's take a call right here. This is Bill Moran, and you're on KABC Talk Radio with Dick Clark.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Norman from West Covina.
Okay, Norman.
Mr. Clark.
Yes, sir.
I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
One on Jackie Wilson.
Yeah.
Last thing I read on Billboard magazine, he was really in bad shape. Have you heard anything the last few weeks?
Yes, I keep in touch very regularly, once or twice a week with the hospital. He's no longer immobile. He can get up and move around. There's a small bit of progress, but it's a very, very grave picture. It's not a sort of thing I could paint a rosy picture about.
Now, my next question. The first time you had your History of Rock and Roll special on with Jim Pewter, I taped the whole thing.
Yeah.
At that time, I was working 5 days a week, and I had the time to tape it. I'm calling from work right now. Well, my wife accidentally erased the whole thing.
Oh,
All
brother.
but about 40 minutes of it. Is there any way I could get another copy of that?
In all honesty, that was a 6-hour promotion for an album that we did, and it wasn't a commercial venture. It was run again in Las Vegas last summer when I appeared there. I don't know that will run again here unless for some reason or other it's a promotional tool. I'm doing now a weekly 3 hours that's in syndication. It's heard here locally in 3 one-hour pieces on another radio station. You might find that interesting, and it's not really cricket to talk about it here on KABC because it's a competitor. But it's on 3 nights a week, and you might want to tape that as it goes along.
Could I ask you one more question?
Yeah.
We have a class out here. It's called History of Rock and Roll. It's taught in adult school.
What school?
Tri-Community Adult School.
Mm-hmm.
It's in its 2nd year now. And one of the guests during the first year was a good friend of yours, Freddie Cannon.
Oh, yeah, sure. I've known him since the Stone Age.
Now, he told us a lot of stories there, and one story
Don't
was
believe a word of it. Not a word.
that you could have been the person to have brought the Beatles to this country.
That's partially true. 2 old friends of Freddie's and mine, 2 former business associates, brought the first Beatle record to the United States.
That's what he said, right?
And
You're not offering him $30 million now, are you, Dick?
no, we offer him 10. As a matter of fact, I don't think Bill Sargent can do that. We'll get onto that in another moment. I guess probably if I'd been bright enough, I could have been the first presenter, but my friend Sid Bernstein was. By the way, speaking of the history of rock and roll, Bill and I are going to talk a little bit about that later. There's a film that Bert Sugarman and I are working on. I've been struggling with it for 6 years, and he's come along of late and rekindled my interest. It'll be a filmatic experience of 4 hours in length, and we'll get to that in a second or two.
Thanks very much for your call. And now we have on the line, hello.
Hello there.
We've got Donnie and Marie Osmond.
How you doing?
You're going to get back at me, is that it?
Hey, Dick, how you doing?
I'm fine. You know, I looked at a picture of your sister the other day, Donnie, and she's
Yeah?
a ravishing beauty. Are you going to play the part now of protective older brother?
You better believe it.
How'd the show go Friday? I was in an airplane, as I usually am. I didn't see it. My kids saw it and said it was fantastic. Are you pleased with the results?
With the special?
Yeah, with your show.
Yes, we are. We're having a great time, Dick. And we have a lot of great people on the show. Our brothers behind us, they're music consultants. And Sid and Marty Croft, who are the producers, and
Is it
the
true?
writers.
Is it true you've got an ice rink as a permanent part of the set?
That's right.
I mean, is this Sid and Marty going crazy again? I mean, they're
Tremendous production values.
They do the most extraordinary things. I love them. We did the first cartoon show with them years ago, and it was live cartoons with Sid and Marty, and it was called the Go-Ghouls. The first time anybody ever put rock and roll music in a Saturday morning show.
Oh, my.
And now it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Hey, Marie, how do you keep peace in the family? It's odd that you should call. I didn't know whether you would, or I had no inkling that you'd call today, but I got thinking about it on a personal level in a tight-knit family like you guys have. Now that you and Donnie are the Donnie and Marie show, how do you internally handle that with the rest of the family? Do you openly discuss it?
Well, to keep peace?
Yeah.
Oh, we're all involved together. It's just a big family project.
And the fact that you're the front men, so to speak, doesn't cause anybody any ego heartache or anything.
Oh, no.
You know, I kind of anticipated that answer, because you people, if ever there was an example of good folks, are it. I don't want to get maudlin here,
But it's a tight
you're
unit.
all right there.
You guys are... By the way, Donnie and Marie, I must tell you, we got an armored truck here of mail.
Oh, really, Bill?
I walk in and Bill is sitting in a studio up to his eyeballs in letter. What did you give away?
We gave away tickets to a taping of their show, which we're going to pull, and we pulled 3 winners last week for 6 tickets, and we're going to pull 3 more this week, and we got an armored truck here. And also, I wanted to let the audience know it was kind of wonderful what you guys did when you left the studio last week. We had a lot of kids in the parking lot, and you signed the autographs and you took pictures, and
That's right. Yeah.
and well, I'm delighted. And of course, your appearance here will be covered in Tiger Beat magazine, so that's going to be kind of fun.
Yeah, well, you know what's going to be a lot of fun?
What's that?
This Saturday, right, Dick?
Oh, bless you, my man.
I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm a basket case at this point. The next 5 or 6 days, I run around like a crazy person trying to bring this whole thing together. But you two will be there. Are you bringing the other folks, or are you just coming alone?
Oh, I think they'll come along.
Well, whatever. Any and all are welcome, and I sure look forward to seeing you again. It's been too long.
Well, this will be the 3rd year that we've done the American Music
That's
Awards.
right.
You
yeah.
have grown up on that show.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Donnie and Marie?
You know, Bill?
Yes.
You know, Dick Clark is really the one who helped us keep going in show business. He produces all of our concerts, and you know, when you first get started, and you first have your big break, it's hard to keep going, and when people really don't believe in you. And Dick believed in us, and he sure helped us become where we are now, which led Marie and myself to have our own TV show, which we're really happy about. And Dick's one of the ones that
Put it all together.
put it all together for us.
Okay, listen.
Hey, you. This could get really sloppy. You know how I think about the whole gang. I sure do. Thank you very much.
Good luck with the show. Next week you'll have Bob Hope and Ted Knight, so you got some real pros with pros.
Yeah, we finished taping last night.
Oh, did you?
Hey, did you work with my friend Meadowlark Lemon?
Yeah, we did.
Isn't he a nice man?
We're the Globetrotters.
Oh, I had a quick bowl of fruit with him the other night after the Globetrotters game. I took my middle son down there, and we were talking about other things, and he's going into a recording thing and all, and he told me he just spent the day with you. So I got to see.
Yeah.
Donnie and Marie, I want to thank you for last week, and thanks for this week, and good luck with the show, and we'll see you on Saturday night.
Okay, Bill.
Bill.
And thank you, Dick.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. I'll tell you what we'd better do right now. We'd better sell something, so let's fly for Pan Am.
Open up your eyes, hey, look around you. There's a lot of world you've never seen.
Just about every 2 minutes somewhere in the world, a Pan Am jet is either taking off or landing in 96 cities in 65 countries on 6 continents. So the next time you're taking a trip abroad, instead of wasting time trying to figure out which airline goes where, fly Pan Am, America's airline to the world.
Welcome to our world.
always had a secret desire to sing with a chorus. I don't know why, but Pan Am has daily 747 service to Central and South America. Flight 515 leaves Los Angeles International Airport every morning at 9:45. Call your travel agent for reservations on Pan Am. Well, boy, this is so exciting, Dick. I don't want you to jump out of your seat, because here's a very important announcement from Datsun. The sales figures are in, and Datsun is the #1 selling import in America for 1975, outselling both VW and Toyota. But what does this mean to you? Simply this. With so many Americans buying Datsuns, there must be some good reasons. Great gas mileage is one. The 1976 Datsun B210 gets 41 miles per gallon on the highway and 29 in town. EPA estimate with manual transmission. Your mileage may vary. And there are more reasons. You get a choice of 14 gas-saving models. Prompt, reliable service from nearly 4,000 factory-trained technicians throughout the United States. Readily available parts. All these and more help make Datsun America's #1 selling import. We aim to stay #1. Datsun saves. Right now, right here on KABC Talk Radio, we are looking at 227.
This is the life. This is the life. There's room to grow. This is the life. This is the life. The way to go. You're better off in California. California Federal Savings.
Put $1,000 in California Federal Savings and Loan Association. Leave the interest in our 7 3/4% account, and your money doubles in less than 9 years. The Double Money Account. 6 to 10 year terms, $1,000 minimum. Substantial penalty for early withdrawal.
You're better off in California. California Federal Savings. California Federal Savings.
How to succeed in show business by really trying is what my guest, actor Jack Denton, is going to get into this Sunday from midnight to 5 a.m. Hello, I'm Deborah. Join me and the Night People to explore ways of becoming a career actor rather than a dreamer. That's this Sunday, midnight to 5 a.m., right here on KABC Talk Radio, 79 Los Angeles.
Okay, Deborah at midnight, and that's not that far off when you really think about it. This is Bill Moran, and you're on KABC Talk Radio, who could probably answer that question also. Hello?
Oh, Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Dick Clark a few short questions.
What's your name, sir?
My name's Bob.
Okay, Bob.
Okay, Dick?
Yes, sir.
When did American Bandstand move from Philadelphia out here on the West Coast? Was that 63 or 64?
Well, technically it was 1964 when it aired on the air, but I think we started recording them in late 1963. We were in Philadelphia from 1952 for a little over 10 years, 10, 11 years.
I was wondering, it's on for an hour now just on Saturdays, right?
That's right.
I was wondering if there would be a possibility for you to get back on the air 5 days a week for an hour and a half.
I sure wish there were, but I got to tell you the truth, I think it's a minimal chance. As long as it's on the network, it won't go. If for any reason it were canceled on the network, I think probably we'd try, but most likely end up with an hour a week.
Which is a lot of time when you consider the problems of contemporary music today.
Oh, we tried to launch a daily show recently called The Music Thing, and it failed here in Los Angeles.
Disco show, right?
Yeah, it was a bandstand type show. Did reasonably well in Philadelphia, but not strong enough to stay alive. Now, there may be a number of reasons, but I'd sure give it another try if anybody wanted to
I
try.
would sure love to see it again, because I was a real fan of the show when it was back in Philly, you know.
Well, I liked it better as a daily show, but you do what you can, and whatever they give you, you do. It isn't always in your hands.
That's true. Now, Dick, you know in the theme song that you were mentioning a few minutes ago when you came on?
Yeah, that's on Barry Manilow's latest album.
Now the original, the one that was back in Philadelphia, that was by Les Elgart, wasn't it?
Yeah, Les Elgart's orchestra. It's an instrumental piece called Bandstand Boogie. It's on a Columbia record.
Right. Now, I've been trying all over town to find that record, and I haven't been able to find it. Do you know by any chance if it's still in print?
It is not, and it's almost impossible to find. I've made a few duplicates to use on television, but we can't sell them or give them away.
You might be able to find them out at stores that specialize in hard-to-get records, like maybe a Rare Records out in Glendale might have it. They certainly are heavy into nostalgia product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm a real oldies but goodies nut. You should see my living room here now. It's just records pile on tops of records.
You just gave Dick an idea.
I'm sitting here like a dummy. I've got an album that's out, and it's on the album. It's so new that I forgot.
Oh, is it on the album?
It's on the album that was advertised on television, and I don't know whether the ads are still running or not, but it's on there as a bonus. I'd completely... And you know what inspired me? So many people asked me where to get the records.
Yeah, because I really loved it. I mean, it was really... it really brought the show right into your living room, you know, every day, you know.
There's your answer.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for swinging and swaying. This is Bill Moran, and you're on KABC Talk Radio with Dick Clark.
This is Paula from Anaheim.
Hello, Paula.
Hi, Bill. Hi, Dick.
Hello, Paula.
Hi. I was a guest at Bill's studio last week, and I was talking to Donnie, and I asked him, I told him the lessons that I take, that I am studying tap, ballet, jazz, piano, voice, drama, and just all sorts of lessons because I want to become an actress. And I asked him, if I was on the right track, and he said yes, but I needed a break, that this stuff would be all good backup for me, but I still need my big break, and I've got my agency lined up, and I'm getting my portfolio done this week, and I want to know how can I get my big break.
Boy, that's the toughest question in the world, Paula. You've done everything you can do. You've made all of the preparations and sharpening your tools. The only thing the people that were on before us were talking about how do you get a break in the movie business. It's always the same. Every person you ask has a different answer. All you got to do is just keep plugging away and don't get discouraged. That's the only piece of advice I can give you, because everything is generalities. You want to do it, you'll get it done.
That's true. Yeah, it's a matter, you've got to learn the street.
I honestly believe if you have an undying ambition and you don't get discouraged, you will achieve success. If you have talent. I'm assuming that you have talent since you can do all those things.
Paula, thanks a lot for your call.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. This is Bill Moran with Dick Clark here on KABC Talk Radio. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
This is Karen.
Hello, Karen.
Karen.
Oh, okay.
And I was wondering, are the American Music Awards going to be taped this Saturday?
It's not a tape show. It's live from the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium. We go on there at 7 o'clock California time. It's seen in New York at 10 o'clock, and then a broadcast again in Los Angeles at 10 o'clock.
Right, and the show will have, by the way, as hosts Glenn Campbell, Olivia Newton-John, and Aretha Franklin. The trio has sold a few records over the years.
Done a bit of that.
Sure
and the cream of the music society. It's the most exciting evening that I look forward to every year. It's a combination of excitement and great pain for me, because I never know exactly how it's going to come out. So far, it's done pretty well.
Oh, I was wondering, because I saw this ad in the calendar, and I was wondering if you could buy tickets to go there or something.
No, unfortunately, the tickets are on an invitation basis only, and they're primarily people in the music business. There are a limited number of seats, and they don't allow us to sell them, not that we would anyway, but they're all people pretty much involved in music.
Oh, okay.
Thanks a lot for your call. Be sure to watch the show. It'll be on Saturday night at 10 o'clock L.A. time. Thank you. Okay, everyone. Sit back and relax while I hit you with a piece of the rock. Straight from Prudential. You see, a Prudential life insurance agent can now offer you auto and home owner's insurance, too. It's like a piece of the rock for your car and home. Maybe that's no reason to start dancing in the streets. All right. But it does mean you might save some money with Prudential, and you'll be saving with someone you know. And another thing, Prudential doesn't want to make your insurance problems any bigger than they have to be. That's why claims are often handled over the phone. Think how good that'll make you feel. If you ever happen to rear-end a car, well, some of us have done that, I think, a few times, right, Dick? Driven by a short-tempered weight lifter. At times like this, you'll need all the friends you can get. That's where a Prudential agent comes in. And as part of his service, at no cost to you, he will send you a household contents checklist. Helps keep you track of all valuable items in your home or in your apartment. A really handy reference if you ever need to make a claim for loss or damage. And so for your free copy, write Household Checklist, care of KABC Talk Radio here in Los Angeles. That's Prudential Household Checklist, care of KABC Talk Radio, right here in glamorous Los Angeles, home of the LA Dodgers, who are going to win it all this year. Right now, it's 2:36 on KABC Talk Radio.
For clean, filtered, soft water.
Call your Culligan man.
Hey, Culligan man!
Hey, Culligan man! Oh, I've always loved to do that. For clean, filtered, soft water, call your Culligan man. One easy way to tell if there's hard water in your area is to look in the phone book for the Culligan man. If he's in there, then you'll know there's hard water around. Well, he's there all right, but he's been there for almost 40 years. That's the kind of business Culligan is. You can't run a Culligan dealership out of a catalog or a phone booth. Your Culligan man needs a plant and trucks and men and equipment. His only business is water conditioning for homes and business and industry. Incidentally, there's another easy way to tell if you have hard water. Oh, really? It's an easy-to-use hard water test kit, and it's yours free. Just send a postcard to Hard Water Test Kit, care of KABC Talk Radio, right here in Los Angeles. The free kit will be sent to you by return mail. It's an interesting little gimmick. Takes about a half a minute to use, and it will show you something you might have not known about your water. So send in today to Hard Water Test Kit in care of KABC Talk Radio in Los Angeles. Hey, Culligan man, 237 right here on KABC Talk Radio.
Hey, what's that big crowd for? They giving something away?
That's what I heard. I heard it's a real cool deal.
Oh, look. It's that beautiful new AMC Pacer.
Hey, yeah. And that's what the deal is on. There's a fantastic off-season special. If we act now, they'll give us factory air conditioning absolutely free if we buy a Pacer. And we can pick any 1976 Pacer except Sundowners.
Hey, that's quite a deal. Wait a minute. You said off-season special.
Yeah?
Here in Southern California, air conditioning is always in season.
And the Pacer is backed by AMC's exclusive buyer protection plan.
Why don't you save over $400? The Pacer free air conditioning offer is limited to retail buyers and is good for a limited time only at participating Southern California American Motors dealers.
All right, we're back out of the crowd and back on the lines with Dick Clark. This is Bill Moran, and you're on KABC Talk Radio.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, Dick?
Yes.
I was wondering, is Linda Ronstadt nominated for anything at the American Music Awards?
Linda is nominated in 3 categories as the favorite female vocalist in the rock and roll area. She's pitted against Olivia Newton-John and Helen Reddy.
Uh-huh.
And let me look down here. In the favorite female vocalist country music, she is interesting. Olivia Newton-John, Linda Ronstadt are against Loretta Lynn.
Yeah.
So those 2 ladies are in both categories. Then I have to see here. It strikes me her name popped up in one other area, but I may have somebody else in mind, which I guess I do since I don't see it here. She's in 2 categories that I can see. The best female vocalist of country music and the best female vocalist of rock and roll or pop music.
Okay, thank you.
Okie doke.
Thank you. By the way, everybody, for your Southern California AMC dealer in Long Beach, go to Holiday at 1427 Long Beach Boulevard, and in Glendale at Division American, 819 South Grand Boulevard in Glendale. Okay, let's take another call. This is Bill Moran. You're on KABC Talk Radio with Dick Clark.
Hi, this is Frank.
Hey, Frank.
Hi, Dick Clark.
Hello, Frank.
I have a question. Do you know anything about a 1963 English movie called Sing and Swing?
I really must confess my ignorance. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, it's about a boy just starting out in a group, and he wants to be in a group and sing. And
who was in it?
David Hermings and Jennifer Moss. It's a 1963 English movie, and it's really great rock and roll music. Wonderful. And
do you happen to who did the music? Anybody that we've heard of, or was it just
nobody that we heard of?
Where did you see the film?
Well, I saw it in Benton, Arkansas. I just came to California, but they've had it down in San Diego, I believe.
Well, I'd like to see it because I've seen most of the films that have been made with rock and roll music, and I'm preparatory to making a film about the history of rock. Does it have any historical significance, or was it just something you liked a lot?
I don't think it has any historical significance, but I tell you, it's really great music.
Yeah, thank you for the tip. I'll look it up.
Rock and roll music.
Sing and Swing? I got it.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you very much.
What about the film you're making now, which is called Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll?
This is a real labor of love, Bill. I guess I've talked to you about it probably the first day we got together to talk on this particular show. I've been wrestling together all of them. That's why I want to get a call like that. I want to find out whether it was a performance by somebody in there of significance. I think I've now got probably the most complete catalog of where all that music is kept in visual form, on videotape or film or home movies and newsreels. And before the end of this year, or hopefully for the summer of 1977, it'll be a 4-hour feature film with an intermission covering the history of rock and roll from the mid-50s to the mid-70s.
So you're going to go back to the, gosh, Bill Haley and the Comets, probably even before Bill Haley and the
Probably a
Comets.
little before my friend Bill, and then carry it on through that glorious era when it descended on the world, on through the English invasion and the psychedelic era of the late 60s and into what's going on today. Gotten a lot of cooperation, and it'll be, I think, an even bigger experience for music lovers than That's Entertainment was for movie buffs.
Well, it'll be That's Entertainment of Rock, primarily, right?
That's kind of like what it is. It'll be filled with a lot of memories and people that, very famous and some not so famous.
Putting some of the film, obviously, from American Bandstand,
I've got a lot of my own stuff, but I've gone to feature film sources and current television sources. My friends Don Kirshner and Bert Sugarman have a lot of that. We all do, but nobody's ever bothered to put it together. I think it'll be an event.
What about when you look at some of the innovators in rock? You've seen a change over the years. I guess, who would you consider to be some of the real important innovators over the years?
Well, it depends on which period you're going to, Bill. In the early days, an innovator would be Chuck Berry and Little Richard. I mean, they were innovators because they scared the daylights out of the white community with their music, older white people.
And their supposed rebellious attitude.
Oh, yeah. Right. And then Presley, of course, was an innovator because he was ornery and mean and stood for all things that offended the older generation. It's endless. I mean, that's the sort of philosophical discussion that will take us off into a 4-hour conversation.
And then you get into the Beatles, and of course, all of a sudden you have an offer, which I find very hard to believe. I can't see the Beatles getting back together for $30 million, but
the wild man strikes again. Bill Sargent rises.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you. Let's take another call. This is Bill Moran with Dick Clark on KABC Talk Radio.
Hi, Mr. Clark.
Hi.
I would like to have an explicit and exact answer to this question.
I'll try to be as succinct as possible.
All right, now looking into the future of our society, our Western society, do you see any time in the future in which a person who has true international greatness being able to have their music and ideas played without having to do anything but be greatness?
Well, I don't know. That's again a very philosophical question. I don't know why not.
Well, yeah, we're not producing greatness in this society, and it's obvious that we must have great people in this country. I know a number of starving composers.
Well, we're talking about a very subjective thing, musical taste. You obviously don't think Elton John is great, or you don't think John Denver is great.
Well, do you think that 50 years from now that the international world will think they're great?
Well, I don't know about those two, but again, a philosophical
people
question.
Don't know Elton John in many places of the world.
That's true. I'm sure they don't.
But they all know Beethoven.
Do you think they will know Lawrence Hart and Rogers? Do you think they'll know Gershwin?
Well, perhaps at the level that we know Gilbert and Sullivan.
I see. That's a tough question to answer. It's really arguing the merits of hot dogs and hamburgers.
I'm thinking about corn and caviar.
Well, whatever makes you happy, my dear. There are an awful lot of people who like popular music. Whether it's great and lasting has always been a matter of great conjecture. If Rodgers and Hammerstein's music will last, I believe McCartney and Lennon's music will last.
Well, don't you know there are many places in the world where people not only do not know American music, but do not even like it?
Oh, yes. Thank goodness it's that way.
But don't you find that a lot of very outstanding people live and die in this country and are totally unknown and never will be because of that we don't have music. We have a music business and not music art.
Oh, you've definitely struck upon the key. It is a business.
But don't you think that we should have something better than that? This great society.
Are you intimating that classical music is better than popular music? Is that you're being a little, you asked me for a candid answer and you're not being candid in the question.
Well, I want to think that there is, let's put it this way, there's, the Germans have folk music, a leader, German leader.
I think your points are well established, and I thank you for your comments, and I think it's, different strokes for different folks. There's all kinds of music, all kinds of stations, all kinds of formats, and thank you for your call and Rhapsody in Blue to you. This is Bill Moran, and you're on KABC Talk Radio with Dick Clark.
Hello, Bill.
Yes.
Mark.
Hi, Mark.
First of all, I'd like to ask you a question. What is your exact position with the Billboard magazine?
We've been trying to figure that. This is Dick, Mark. More people over at Billboard say, what is Bill Moran? What does he do?
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. Well, when we do a lot of spotlight issues on a lot of stars, a lot of record companies, I'm the one that's involved in helping to coordinate, put the issues together, and I work very closely with artists and managers.
He's a specialist.
I'd like to ask you a question.
Okay.
In the calendar section of the Times this week, they mentioned about middle-of-the-road stations. they differentiate between what they call adult middle of the road and younger middle of the road.
Yeah, what happened
to me in Los Angeles that they put all the music together and there's no difference.
Yeah, what in essence the caller is saying, what Mark is saying is that Radio Arts, which is a syndication firm in Burbank, has come up with a format called The Entertainers, and they say that in L.A. there is no station in L.A. that plays traditional adult middle of the road in the Sinatra, Tony Bennett, Perry Como bag, and in the survey they took involving an awful lot of people, they feel that the 30 to 60-year-olds are not getting their kind of music presented on radio. In fact, they even claim that Ray Conniff sold 2.5 million records in 1975 strictly through mail order and record clubs.
Yes, he did. One of the most successful. It's one of the strange things. We have 75 radio signals in this town, and you would think somebody would be serving the Edie Gourmet, Andy Williams, Frank Sinatra cult. I don't know why that is. It's very peculiar.
Interesting enough, Tony Bennett, for instance, had to launch his own label to get record product released.
And George Shearing.
George Shearing and Steve and Edie have just made a deal with a company in New York City that specializes in Spanish recordings. They can't even come out. They're not even getting a record deal in terms of any English product, which I think is sad, but that's the way it is today.
I like to see an AM jazz station. There's only one. There's an FM, which is KBCA, which I like to listen to sometimes, but there isn't an AM one. I wish there was one.
You know, there's always an answer for that. The reason is how many people listen, how far is the market segmented, and can you stay alive? Can you get enough commercials on to stay alive? Speaking of commercials...
We've had a few, and we've got to get into another one. Thank you very much for your call, and say hello to Frank for me. Okay, well, they tell me the recession is slowly ending and that better times are on their way. Well, I know some of you who might have a rough time. You may have had to cut back on expenses. Oh, my goodness, everybody's had to do that. And your monthly bills may have started piling up. But now there's good news for homeowners. You know an interesting thing that's happened these last months? Property values, instead of going down, have gone sky high. So your home is probably worth a lot more today than it was 12 months ago. And all of the money you've put into your home over the years is a capital investment. That's also worth more in today's cash at Capital Home Loan. Now you may borrow from $1,000 to $25,000 or more through Capital. So you can clean up those bills quickly and get the things you've needed. At Capital, you can get cash fast, and that's fair, honest treatment. And the rates on loans arranged through Capital are as low as ever. As a homeowner, Capital recognizes your right to borrow on the capital you've built up in your home. You owe it to yourself. Call Capital, 386-1111 in Los Angeles, 778-3450 in Orange County, or any of their offices here in Southern California. Capital Home Loan, 386-1111 in L.A., 778-3450 in Orange County. Right here on KABC Talk Radio, we are at 249.
Well, thank you very much, Josiah S. Carberry, world's most traveled man. Any questions from our audience?
Mr. Carberry?
Yes, the couple up front.
We're looking for a different vacation in Europe this summer, something special.
Not too expensive? American Express Yourself Vacations.
We don't want a group.
American Express has 22 new independent vacations. Group rates for airfare and first-class hotels, but lots of time without the group, completely on your own.
For instance?
A river barge winding through Burgundy, France. Your own chartered yacht in the Aegean. Or drive yourself lazy. Very special fly drives, staying in castle hotels, charming old country inns.
Sounds like on these vacations.
We can really express ourselves.
American Express Yourself Vacations in Europe this summer.
Thanks, Mr. Carberry. Thank you very, very much for all that applause, and I haven't even read the spot yet. You can American Express yourself to Europe by jet, by cruise ship, by car, by private yacht, by river barge, by your own imagination. Find out about this new approach at your travel agent or any office of American Express Travel Service. Tell them Carberry sent you. We're at 250 here at KABC Talk Radio.
I'm with Griffey's.
I'm with Griffey's.
I'm with Griffey's in what is considered Griffey's most important department, TV sales.
I'm in the most important division of Griffey's, service.
Service?
Griffey's most important division.
It's a room in the back of the store is what it is. Now, TV sales, ha-ha! 19-inch color portables with a new set guarantee, 2 years picture tube, 1 year parts, 90 days labor, and you can buy a Griffey's late model hotel portable, color, 19-inch, for about half the price of a new set.
They sell themselves.
Right.
So who needs you? Now, service, that's me. And I put them in shape. Griffey's Service, one of the biggest service departments west of the Mississippi.
Oh, they hardly need any service. They come out of major hotels. They're hardly used.
Right.
So who needs you?
I write your paycheck.
Are you Bill Griffey?
That's right.
I'm Jack Griffey.
Hey, Griffey.
Griffey, you old rat.
Ah, Griffey, boy. Son of a gun. Oh, I love that spot. That's great. There are 3 Griffey locations on Valley Boulevard in Alhambra, at Nordhoff and Sepulveda in the San Fernando Valley, and in Lawndale on Hawthorne Boulevard. That's what is known as creativity in putting a spot together, I'll tell you that. You know, Dick, one area, you know, we got a lot of talk show hosts on the air, from Johnny Carson to Merv Griffin to you name it, Mike Douglas, Dinah Shore. I'd love to see Dick Clark on television with a talk show, not only on music, but the whole spectrum of show business. And I mean, you've been involved in everything, and that is one area where I think it would add a lot to television if you had one.
I almost had that chance, Bill. That makes 2 of us anyway that want to see that happen.
Absolutely.
I had an idea. I wanted to do a variety show combining variety talent and talk called Live from Hollywood. It evolved into a live show from Times Square with Howard Cosell because the network had an agreement with Howard that they would put him into a variety format if he renewed his sports contract. Unfortunately, that wasn't a successful venture for anybody.
It certainly wasn't.
And it probably set that form back. There are constant rumors that various and sundry talk show people may retire, and I'm just kind of sitting around waiting, hoping I don't get too old before it happens, because I would love to do that. That would be a really great opportunity to bring together some of the interests I've grown up with over 20 years that are not being seen on television now.
And I think, as example, what we're doing here, I mean, people are getting a chance to know you, to talk to you, and to see it on television.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You know, I still can't get over the lady who said, be candid with me, and then she wouldn't ask me a straight question. Why is it that people think serious music, classical music, is quote-unquote better than popular music? What is that prejudice? Why?
There is a problem, even in the rock community, which I've found. The minute an artist gets commercial, sells to a lot of people, you find that particular individual says, they've gone commercial. They've lost their artistic integrity.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
I mean, pleasing people makes it bad?
That's what we're here to do.
That's odd. Really odd.
It is a problem. Back to the lines with Dick Clark. This is Bill Moran on KABC Talk Radio. Hello? Hello? Is anybody there? Have we lost you?
Hello?
Yes, hello. What's your name?
Jeannie.
Where are you calling from, Jeannie?
Oceanside.
Okay. How are things out there with the former president?
Fine.
Okay. You got a question for Dick?
Yeah,
you know, Jeannie, you got the usual problem on these things, that radio is playing and you're listening and waiting and there's that momentary pause.
I know.
Why don't you trip over and turn the radio back down and we'll hold on here for you for a second while you do it, all right?
It's off.
Okay, go ahead. What's your question, Jeannie?
Does Dick Clark know David Cassidy, and is he going to be on American Bandstand?
David Cassidy, I know very well. He's just returned from an overseas trip. As a matter of fact, I think he's coming Saturday night to the Music Awards with a couple of friends of mine, a fellow that used to work here on Talk Radio, and several other people. So you may catch a glimpse of him there. And as soon as he has a record product, he's always invited.
Yeah, I talked to him on KBC Radio in October.
Oh, yeah, he did our show. David Cassidy was on our show. Thank you for your call all the way out from Oceanside. Thank you. And right now, let's go to Leisure Village.
This is George Fenneman visiting with Iola and Alfred Podewills in Leisure Village at Pleasant Valley, the relaxed, uncrowded retirement community near Camarillo.
If I may ask, how does Leisure Village compare financially with where you lived before?
Financially, I don't think there's a great deal of difference, except that dollar for dollar, you get a great deal more for each dollar. Not only the recreation, you get the protection, the security. Maintenance is taken care of for both the house and the yard, so you don't have that to do, which I never did care much for anyway.
When you stop working, start living in uncrowded Leisure Village at Pleasant Valley near Camarillo. From Los Angeles, take the Ventura Freeway west to the Callegas exit, then north on Callegas Road about 1.5 miles to Leisure Village.
Okay, George Fenneman, one of the best in the business. Leisure Village now introduces newly designed 2-bedroom, 2-bath, single-story homes with attached garages from only $32,990. That's right, $32,990. That's the Ventura Freeway to the Callegas exit to Leisure Village. And right now at KABC Talk Radio, it's 2:56. Let's hear it for Frank Sinatra.
In the resort business, you always book your biggest stars in the summer, right? Wrong. This year, Harrah's is having a red-hot winter. That means the seasons are out and Frank Sinatra is in. Right now through Sunday night only, it's the chairman of the board himself, Frank Sinatra, at Harrah's Lake Tahoe. At Harrah's in Reno, more big-name entertainment in the person of John Davidson. It's top stars, late-night cabaret shows, dancing in the Summit Restaurant at Tahoe, and seeing Harrah's must-see automobile collection in Reno. It's things to do, places to stay, fun and games, and it's Frank Sinatra at Harrah's. For a winter you've got to call red hot.
Come to Harrah's. Come to life.
Shooby-dooby-doo. Sinatra currently at Harrah's, and stay at Harrah's luxurious Tahoe Hotel Sunday through Thursday and take advantage of the lower weekday rates. That's at Harrah's Tahoe. Frank Sinatra. Liza Minnelli's going to be coming there momentarily, too. Pretty good talent. This is Bill Moran on KABC Talk Radio with Dick Clark.
Oh, this is Russ from Whittier.
Hello, Russ.
I'd like to talk to Dick.
I'm on the line, Russ.
Is there any chance that you could get Kiss on your American Man fan?
Is there any chance you can get what?
Kiss.
Kiss. Oh, the group Kiss.
Right.
I'm sorry. Gee, I don't think so now. I mean, they're really good friends of mine. I know the group. I know the management of the record company. We gave them their first television exposure when we did In Concert, but they've gotten to the point now where they're so busy with so many concerts, I really doubt whether it's a good platform for them anymore.
They're sure doing well in concerts, aren't they, Dick?
I see they're down at the Forum coming up. I mean, that was a group that had a long, hard pull getting off the ground, and I'm so glad they're doing well.
They're powerful in the whole glitter rock scene, and as a matter of fact, they had one concert scheduled. They had to go with another one. So they're doing very well.
One of my friends at the office, his kid took the album to school, and the teacher, what do they say, impounded the album. Scared the daylights out of it, the cover with the white faces and the makeup and all the craziness. But to answer your question succinctly, I don't think they're going to be available for us. I wish they were, and of course they'd be welcome.
Thanks very much for your call, and a kiss to you. This is Bill Moran with KABC Talk Radio and Dick Clark, and our numbers for the next hour in Los Angeles, 870-7263. In the San Fernando Valley and Simi Valley, 981-7900. In Orange County, we are at 638-5151. In the Long Beach, Compton area and San Pedro, 639-2036. In the Glendale, Burbank, Pasadena area and Eagle Rock, 244-0790. In the Eastern Metropolitan area in the San Gabriel Valley, 579-5986. And in the South Bay area, we are at 644-0790. Would you believe it's time for Dodger baseball? Here's Vinny.
Hi, this is Vin Scully. Did you know that Steve Garvey became the first Dodger to have 200 or more hits in 2 straight years since Babe Herman turned the trick in 1929 and 30? Steve batted .319, and his longest streak without a hit, only 3 games. Well, you won't want to miss Steve Garvey and all the Dodgers in 1976, and now's the time to find out about the upcoming season ticket plans. Call 224-1471. That's 224-1471.
The biggest news in the papers right now is not in the headlines. It's Winnebago's Big Money Coupon. That's a newspaper coupon worth $300 to $500 off a new Winnebago motorhome. The offer's limited, so watch for that coupon in your newspaper or at Winnebago dealers. Don't miss your chance to save up to $500 on a new Winnebago motorhome.
Extra, extra, big money coupon from Winnebago.
KABC is your USC Trojan station in Los Angeles. Hi, I'm Tom Kelly, and you'll catch all the excitement of Trojan basketball on your sports station, Talk Radio 79, KABC, Los Angeles.
News of the hour, on the hour, from American Information Radio. This is Don Fisher, and at this hour, Secretary of State Kissinger is briefing President Ford at the White House on his latest diplomatic trip. Kissinger returned to the U.S. today after visiting Moscow, Brussels, and Madrid. Reporters traveling with the Kissinger party have learned of new travel plans for the president. ABC correspondent Barry Dunsmore has a report from Washington.
President Ford is expected to visit the Mideast this spring. Correspondents on Kissinger's plane were told that the trip would likely take place in the last part of April, and that it would probably include the same countries as President Nixon had visited in June '73. The Nixon itinerary included Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Saudi Arabia, and Israel. A senior official indicated that all the plans were not yet set for the trip, but that its main purpose was, in his words, to keep the U.S. hand in the negotiating process. No spectacular successes would be expected. On the other hand, Kissinger is believed to feel that the problem now is to avoid spectacular setbacks. Barry Dunsmore, ABC News, Andrews Air Force Base.
The Soviet Union has officially commented on Kissinger's arms talks in Moscow. The Communist Party newspaper Pravda said the talks are regarded as new steps for further improvement in U.S.-Soviet relations. Pravda said not all problems have been solved, but progress has been made. Busing in Detroit. That story coming up.
KABC Community Service Calendar. The Military Order of the Purple Heart has opened their new state headquarters office in Patriotic Hall, 1816 South Figueroa. This office is available to all veterans to give whatever assistance possible to any veteran or veteran's family. Office hours are 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. This service is performed on a voluntary basis to any and all veterans. Have you been thinking about continuing your education? Long Beach City College is open without tuition to high school graduates and persons 18 years of age or older without a high school diploma. The college's spring schedule of classes lists nearly 2,700 classes offered beginning February 2nd. Why not plan to continue your education in the way which will benefit you most? Full registration information is available at the Long Beach City College Center, 4901 East Carson Street, or by calling 420-4286. The number again, 420-4286.
Anti-busing demonstrators have staged a peaceful protest in Detroit, where court-ordered busing goes into effect tomorrow. Under the plan, 22,000 students are scheduled to be bused to new schools to achieve a better racial balance. Anti-busing leaders are urging parents to keep their children out of school. In Detroit, ABC's Betsy Aaron asked Sue Kohler why she's against busing.
It just isn't right. There can be other things worked out. People can voluntarily be bused. There's a lot of people that are willing to be bused. And I think it's wrong. I think our rights are being taken away from us. And I think if they went from a house-to-house basis, you would find out that 80% of the people don't want to be bused, and that includes both races.
Sue Kohler says she, for one, will keep her children at home. Boston teachers have agreed to return to work at Hyde Park High, closed by racial violence last week. Police have assured the teachers there will be sufficient protection both inside and outside the school. Gail O'Reilly of the Hyde Park Faculty Senate told a news conference this afternoon.
The big thing is preventing weapons from entering the school. And parents have addressed to me their concern about weapons. And I told them that today a large team of police officers went through the building inspecting, as far as I know, every single inch of space in this building.
That's Hyde Park High teacher Gail O'Reilly. A union spokesman says weekend talks to end the Pittsburgh teacher strike have failed to resolve major issues despite earlier optimism. The strike enters its 9th week tomorrow, and if a settlement isn't reached, strike leaders could face possible jail terms. Chief White House economist Alan Greenspan says the unemployment rate should decline steadily for the next few years, possibly reaching 5% or less. This is Information Radio News. The Soviet Union today began 2 weeks of war maneuvers near the Turkish border. For the first time, the Soviet Union is permitting Western military observers to watch the war games, one each from Greece and Turkey. Italy's premier designate, Aldo Moro, is now trying to form a minority one-party Christian Democrat government. Italy's Republican Socialist parties rejected Moro's attempts to form a coalition. The failure to set up a government could result in early national elections, which could bring communists into the Italian cabinet for the first time. I'm Don Fisher, and that's the news. Hear news of the hour, on the hour, throughout the day from American Information Radio. A service of ABC News.